guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my to-be-read pile for June and July 2023. So before heading into what I plan on reading for my TBR for June and July, let's talk about April-May. April-May went very well. I had a few concerns that I was going to get a little behind in April-May, but somehow it all worked out. I don't know how. I managed to have like 4 extra days to spend at the end of May. And as always, every book that I read during the course of my TBRs, there are Goodreads reviews that go up first, and then video reviews eventually come at some point. I am so far behind on video reviews because I can only post a couple a month. So let's get into June, July TBR. Some pretty exciting ones here. Once again, I have some pretty lengthy books that I'm reading, but I did find a couple small books that I'm going to kind of throw in there to kind of break up the tedium of the longer books. I plan on reading this one right here. This is Arch-Conspirator by Veronica Roth. And, you know, I've had some trouble with Veronica Roth in the past. I read the first Divergent book, and the first Divergent book was okay. I still need to finish the trilogy. I have yet to finish the trilogy, you guys. I need to finish that Divergent trilogy someday. The first Divergent book was fine, and then Veronica Roth also had another book. It was called, I think, The Chosen Ones, something like that. And that book had a pretty awesome premise that I was excited about, but then it kind of fell flat for me and I didn't like it. So I'm a little concerned how this book is going to go. If something happens, I end up not really particularly liking this book either. Maybe it's just time for me to stop reading Veronica Roth. You know, maybe she's just not an author for me, unfortunately. But yeah, the reason I got this book is definitely because the premise of it sounded pretty unique and exciting. And I gotta highlight the signed edition sticker here. How do I take this off? You guys, I started to peel it off, and then I could tell it was going to leave like a terrible smear, sticky smear underneath it, and I was like, God damn, how do I take that off? I need to figure out how to take off stickiness on books without destroying the cover. I hate nothing more than stickers being plopped onto my books. Why? Okay, so this is what Arch-Conspirator is about. Outside the last city on Earth, the planet is a wasteland. Without the genes of the fallen without the genes of the fallen, humanity will end. So it's like some sort of post-apocalyptic world or something. Antigone's parents, see where I'm going here? This is why I was excited, you guys. Antigone's parents, Oedipus and Jocasta, are dead. Passing into the archive should be cause for celebration. But with her militant uncle Creon rising to claim her father's vacant throne, all Antigone feels is rage. When he welcomes her and her siblings into his mansion, Antigone sees it for what it really is, a gilded cage, where she is captive as well as a guest. But her uncle will soon learn that no cage is unbreakable, and neither is he. Yes, this is like a futuristic, post-apocalyptic sort of like retelling of the story of Antigone, which is like part of like Greek mythology and stuff like that. I love the story of Antigone because it's like a sequel to like Oedipus Rex, and I love Oedipus Rex as well. So I can't wait to get to this. Like I said, that's the big reason why I picked this book up, because of it being an Antigone retelling, and it's also very short. I think it's barely even 200 pages. I don't think it even is 200 pages. Oh no, it's like 112 pages. This is only 112 pages, so I'm hoping it'll just take me a day or two to fly through this. Next up, I got another little short book here, and this is The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Call, and this is an absolutely gorgeous cover, you guys. I love it. Oh my god. And yeah, another very small book here. I don't think this is even 200 pages either. No, it's hitting right at, this is hitting right at 100. Dear God. So yeah, I should be able to knock this out also in like a day or two, depending on how fast I'm reading. So yeah, let me tell you what this is about. You may think you know how the fairy tale goes. A mermaid comes to shore and weds the prince. But what the fables forget is that mermaids have teeth. and now her daughters have devoured the kingdom and buried it in ashes. Ooh, dark. On the run, the mermaid is joined by a mysterious plague doctor with a darkness of their own. Deep in the eerie, snow-crusted forest, the pair stumble upon a village of ageless children who thirst for blood, and the three saints who control them. The mermaid and her doctor must embrace the cruelest parts of their true natures if they hope to survive. Yes, I love this. This sounds like so creepy and dark. It should be great. Next up, I plan on reading Queen's Gambit by Elizabeth Fremantle. And no, this is not like the Netflix Queen's Gambit television show. This is a novel of Catherine Parr. Catherine Parr being the sixth and final wife of King Henry VIII. And I do know that this is being turned into a movie that I think is coming out this year or either next year, and I believe Alicia Vikander is playing Catherine Parr, and somehow, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Jude Law is playing King Henry VIII. Jude Law, gorgeous looking Jude Law playing overweight King Henry VIII. What is up with Hollywood? Seriously, Hollywood has an obsession with super hot, attractive Henry VIII. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, so this book, I'll read the synopsis for you guys really quickly. Widowed for the second time at age 31, Catherine Parr falls deeply for the dashing courtier Thomas Seymour and hopes at last to marry for love. Instead, she attracts the amorous attentions of the ailing, egotistical, and dangerously powerful Henry VIII. No one is in a position to refuse a royal proposal. So, haunted by the fates of his previous wives, 2 executions, 2 annulments, 1 death in childbirth, Catherine must wed Henry and rely on her wits and the help of her loyal servant Dot to survive the treacherous pitfalls of life as Henry's queen. Yet, as she treads the razor's edge of court intrigue, she never quite gives up on love. Yeah, in recent years, I've just been really loving the story of Catherine Parr. I feel like she's one of those queens of Henry VIII that often kind of gets a little ignored because she's kind of there at the tail end of his reign. Because, you know, rightfully so, a lot of people I tend to have interest in, like, Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, you know, and yeah, poor Catherine Parr kind of sometimes kind of lingers back there in the background, unfortunately. But yeah, in recent years, I've just been really enjoying her story because she was kind of a really powerful woman in her own right during this time period when, you know, women kind of didn't have certain types of rights, but she managed to kind of survive and make it to the very end, you know, before he did anything to her. Next up, I'm moving into book 4 in the Strike series, and that is Lethal White by Robert Galbraith. As I said, this is book 4 in this series. I've been trying to make my way through each TBR, through each of the books in the Strike series. So yeah, what is this one about? When Billy, a troubled young man, comes to Private Eye Cormoran Strike's office to seek help investigating a crime he thinks he witnessed as a child, Strike is left deeply unsettled. While Billy is obviously mentally distressed and cannot remember many concrete details, there is something sincere about him and his story. But before Strike can question him further, Billy bolts in a panic. Trying to get to the bottom of Billy's story, Strike and Robin Ellicott, once his assistant, now a partner in the agency, set off on a twisting trail that leads them through the back streets of London into a secretive inner sanctum within Parliament, into a beautiful but sinister manor house deep in the countryside. And during this labyrinthine investigation, Strike's own life is far from straightforward. His newfound fame as a private eye means he can no longer operate behind the scenes as he once did. Plus, his relationship with his former assistant is more fraught than ever. Robin is now invaluable to Strike in the business, but their personal relationship is much, much trickier than that. So yeah, we got like a mystery thriller sort of book here. Yeah, I absolutely love the Strike television show. And yeah, the adaptation of this particular book was like one of my favorite seasons. So I'm really curious, kind of going into this book, that I'm hoping that this book is kind of one of my favorites in the series as well. But yeah, so far I have absolutely been enjoying all of these books for the most part. Next up, I plan on reading this book right here. This is Cold People by Tom Rob Smith. Hopefully y'all can see this because it's a very shiny cover. The world has fallen. Without warning, a mysterious and omnipotent force has claimed the planet as their own. There are no negotiations, no demands, no reasons given for their actions. All they have is a message. Humanity has 30 days to reach the one place on Earth where they will be allowed to exist, Antarctica. Cold People follows the perilous journeys of a handful of those who endure the frantic exodus to the most extreme environment on the planet. But their goal is not merely to survive the present, because as they cling to life on the ice, the remnants of their past swept away, they must also confront the urgent challenge. Can they change and evolve rapidly enough to ensure humanity's future? Can they build a new society in the sub-zero cold? Yeah, this sounds just super intriguing, because it sounds like there's some sort of maybe alien entity of some sort that's kind of rose up against like humanity here on Earth, and yeah, like forcing humanity to venture out into Antarctica and survive there for whatever reason, you know. So I'm very curious about this book, like what the hell is actually going on, because it's very kind of vague in some ways. And yeah, I have enjoyed Tom Rob Smith in the past, especially his book Child 44. That book is just a masterpiece of literature, I feel like. I love that book. So I'm very curious to kind of get into this, and hopefully I really enjoy his writing style in this as well. Next up, I'm going to read this beast of a book right here, you guys. Good God, even holding it right now, it's very heavy. It's hurting my elbow. It's like, I think it's almost 1,000 freaking pages, dear God. This is Fall of Giants, book 1 of the Century trilogy by Ken Follett. Ooh. And yeah, as I flip the book around here, we have a lovely picture of Ken Follett back here. Seriously, I don't really like authors having big giant photos on the back of the book. For whatever reason, it kind of freaks me out. Okay, let's get through this plot synopsis. This is a fairly long one, good God. Okay, let's see, where do I start? There's so much going on the synopsis. Fall of Giants is Follett's magnificent new historical epic. The first novel in the Century trilogy, it follows the fates of 5 interrelated families, American, German, Russian, English, and Welsh, as they move through the world-shaking dramas of the First World War, the Russian Revolution, and the struggle for women's suffrage. 13-year-old Billy Williams enters a man's world in the Welsh mining pits. Gus Dewar, an American law student rejected in love, finds a surprising new career in Woodrow Wilson's White House. 2 orphan Russian brothers, Grigory and Lev Peshkov, embark on radically different paths half a world apart, when their plan to immigrate to America falls afoul of war, conscription, and revolution. Billy's sister Ethel, a housekeeper for the aristocratic Fitzherberts, takes a fateful step above her station, while Lady Maud Fitzherbert herself crosses deep into forbidden territory when she falls in love with Walter von Ulrich, a spy at the German embassy in London. These characters and many others find their lives intricately entangled as in a saga of unfolding drama and intriguing complexity. Fall of Giants moves seamlessly from Washington to St. Petersburg, from the dirt and danger of a coal mine to the glittering chandeliers of a palace, from the corridors of power to the bedrooms of the mighty. As always with Ken Follett, the historical background is brilliantly researched and rendered. The action is fast-moving, and the characters are rich in nuance and emotion. It is destined to be a new classic. This is so dramatic. I feel like this is the world's most dramatic plot summary. Yeah, I guess to get to the point, yeah, this is a trilogy, and it's pretty much, as it kind of says, it's called the Century. It's pretty much going through, the trilogy is going through an entire century, I guess, following these various different characters and their families, and how they get through all of the dramas of like World War I and then World War II and probably the Vietnam War and stuff like that, you know. So I'm very excited to get into this trilogy. For each TBR, I plan on reading one of these books, because yeah, they are absolutely gigantic. Each book is like 1,000 pages, I think. So I can't wait to get to this. I do love me a good like family saga, historical epic, you know, so this should be right up my alley. And yeah, I've not read Ken Follett's other books, you know, like Pillars of the Earth and World Without End, you know, that series of books, but I have watched the television adaptations of those books, and I really enjoyed them. So I'm hoping since I enjoyed those, I will definitely enjoy this. And you guys, believe it or not, I do actually have room for one more book in the TBR somehow. So I'm definitely going to draw from my little TBR jar right here, and let's see what surprise of a book I get. Okay, I did shuffle it this time around, but I'm still going to kind of dig somewhere here in the middle. Let's see. Oh, Lord. They're all going to come flying out. What, oh, my God. This is the most dangerous part of the video. You guys, okay, what do I have here? I have something in orange. What are you? Let me see. Ooh, okay. Where is this book, actually? It's somewhere in my room, obviously. Where do I find it? Oh, okay, I found the book. It's like way down here at the bottom of the stack. Give me a minute. Okay, after much exhaustion of trying to dig for this book, what I picked from my TBR jar, oh my God, there's dust flying everywhere. Dear God, okay. Hopefully y'all can't see all the dust coming off this book. I have pulled out of the jar The Whalebone Theater by Joanna Quinn. And this has got to be like the world's most ugliest cover, you guys. Seriously, this is absolutely ugly. Good God, but the synopsis sounded really good though, so that's what we have to do, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. It's so hard to do when the cover is this ugly. Okay, one blustery night in 1928, a whale washes up on the shores of the English Channel. By law, it belongs to the king, but 12-year-old orphan Christabel Seagrave has other plans. She and the rest of the household, her sister Flossie, her brother Digby, long-awaited heir to Chilcombe Manor, Maudie Kit Kat, kitchen maid, Taurus, visiting artist, build a theater from the beast's skeletal rib cage. Within the Whalebone Theater, Christabel can escape her feckless step-parents and brisk governesses, and her imagination comes to life. As Christabel grows into a headstrong young woman, World War II rears its head. She and Digby become British secret agents, okay, that's a twist, on separate missions in Nazi-occupied France. A more dangerous kind of play acting, it turns out, and one that threatens to tear the family apart. Ooh, this, seriously, despite this ugly-ass cover, ignore that. Seriously, I love the plot of this, because it focuses on, like, a group of kids, and yet this whale that washes up on shore, and they make, like, their own little theater out of its remains with its skeleton. And then, yeah, later in life, like, their theater acting, it seems, kind of comes in like a handy, useful way since they're becoming like spies to spy against the Nazis during World War II, you know. So I really like the premise of this. It sounds really cute, like for the beginning half of it, and then like it's going to get more dangerous and frightening in the second half. So yeah, seriously guys, if y'all know about a much more uglier cover than this book, let me know. Like I said, don't judge a book by its cover, because this synopsis sounds really good. So you guys, that is it for my TBR. In the comments below, have you guys read any of the books that I am about to read for these upcoming 2 months? Just let me know your thoughts and feelings. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.